Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Ballpark. As always, I'm your host, Patrick Moran, alongside Brendan Cunningham. Today, we got a ton of stuff to go over. Obviously, we are recording right at the end of the 2025 season. The last games were played today. We are on to the playoffs, which is super exciting. Brendan, I know your Red Sox are in there, so you got to keep track of that. But yeah,
Yep.
we're done with all 162. Ton of stuff to go over, like I said. We got Clayton Kershaw, who retired. Well, he's still going in the postseason, but he's going to be done after this year. We have the ABS system to go over. That's going to be coming in. We have, kind of the end of the year scramble talk. We're going to talk about Cal Raleigh, and we're going to make some postseason predictions, and we'll give a favorite memory of the season because there were a lot of games to make those memories. But first, before we dive into all our topics, Brendan, how you doing today? I know the Pats won, so you are a happy camper.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched that the Pats got a big win against the Panthers. I know, we're saying for show you are the Panthers, but still, putting up 42 points that's something right there. So Drake May had a day. I've been loving his year so far. He's been playing great. But a big win. I know you're probably not as happy as me though.
No, today was not a good day in sports for me, but happy for the Boston team's success, all that good stuff, which we'll dive into. It's a big win for the Pats, no doubt. But here are our topics. So first, Clayton Kershaw officially retired, or not officially. I mean, like I said, still going to be pitching in the playoffs for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but he has pitched his final games in the regular season. There was a really nice moment of him, striking out the final hitter in his career. It was Rafi Devers, which I'll talk to you about, of all people. And it was a really nice moment. Just Dave Roberts going to get the ball. Got to walk off the field to a whole stadium behind him, tip of the cap, got the mound, or he, dug up the rubber at the end of the game. It was pretty special, and this is a special pitcher. I mean, he has a career 2.54 ERA. He had a 3.5 ERA this year in 22 games, 21 of which were starts. He went 10-2 in 107 innings pitched, 77 strikeouts and 1.2 WHIP. He pitched some valuable innings. It's always good to just have these types of guys that can throw in a long season, which I mean that's kind of where Kershaw's at. But it's been a heck of a career. He's got 80 WAR in his career essentially, 222 wins and 96 losses, 454 games pitched, and 450 of them were starts. He pitched almost 3,000 innings, 28 or 2,850, pardon me, 3,000 strikeouts. He achieved that milestone this year in a 1.018 career whip. Some of the accolades: he was an MVP in his career, Triple Crown winner. That MVP, uh, pretty remarkable for a pitcher. Obviously, 2020 World Series title, five-time ERA title, Roberto Clemente Award winner, three-time Cy Young Award, 11-time All-Star, won a Gold Glove, um, and then TSN Major League Player of the Year. I mean, there are just so many great things to look back on for Clayton Kershaw. One of the best left-handed pitchers the game has ever seen. One of the best lefties we've seen. Made his debut at 20. He's going to call it a career at 37 years old. Brendan, just what do you have to say about Clayton Kershaw and all that he's done for the game?
He's definitely like first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest pitchers of all time, if I can say that. Greatest pitcher of all generation. Um, just it's the consistency at such a high level. And as far as lefties goes, he's up there with anybody. It's interesting, he had 7 straight seasons with a sub 3 ERA, um, which is, no other starter's done that in the modern era. So that's how dominant he was. Just like you said with the innings, you knew every season in his prime he was going to go out there, he was going to sub 3 ERA, throw a ton of innings, and that's what he was. He's a Hall of Famer. Um, I'm rooting for him in the National League. Hopefully, he can get one last run. Um, it's not as quite where it used to be. It was a fun moment. Seeing the last game, and of course, Raffy Devers struck out, which is no surprise there.
Yeah. How did that make you feel? Was that a personal, hit home, or just funny to see?
It was a little funny. Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, forgot about you. Um, who's by the way not in the playoffs. So I mean, I don't know.
No,
That's
yeah,
definitely a win trade.
that is true. I didn't think about that. He's Clayton Kershaw tracing the trifecta of World Series titles, and something I also didn't mention, spent his entire career with the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is pretty special. You don't normally see that a whole lot, but the fact that he stuck it out with one organization, for nearly 2 decades, that's, you know, not something you see a whole lot in today's game. Just there's a whole new free agent market, but Clayton Kershaw sticking with the Dodgers. That's pretty special. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer easily. Do you think he's unanimous or just first ballot?
Um, I feel like he's unanimous, right?
Okay.
How could he not be?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And then it now begs the question: is he the best lefty arm of all time?
Now you're. Who else is? I think Randy Johnson's still better.
Oh yeah.
I think
Or I know
you
there
know
was
what?
a dialogue. Is he the best Dodgers lefty of all time? Because there's Koufax.
Let me pull up Koufax's numbers real quick. Uh,
You do a stat head comparison live.
MVP, three-time Cy Young, WAR 48.9, career 2.76 ERA. Only played 11 seasons.
Who?
I don't
Koufax?
know. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I-
I need to look at
he
this.
definitely had a run. I mean, he had the like a
Oh yeah.
5-year run where he was unhittable.
All of these stats are just they blow Koufax out of the water, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You look at them side by side. I mean, probably part of it. Yeah, part of it's longevity. Like Koufax didn't pitch as much as Kershaw. He only pitched 2,324 innings. Um, but yeah, I mean, both of these guys pretty special.
I'd say Kershaw is the greatest Dodger pitcher of all time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just Koufax. I mean, just to look at this, he only pitched 1 decade, and he was only 500 innings off, or to ballpark it. That's pretty
That
insane.
is impressive. Well, it's not the same game at all.
No, today's game is a lot different, but I think Kershaw easily joins some of the best lefties of all time. You think about Randy Johnson, you mentioned Koufax, Warren Spahn back in the day. You know, Kershaw. I mean, it's kind of part of our childhood. It feels like that's going away. So
It is. He was always just there.
I know he was always
It
there.
was
What are you gonna say?
nothing.
Oh,
Yeah. Good career, Clayton Kershaw. Great career.
yeah. How about it? Great send off. I hope for him that he can win the World Series. Get that true glamour at the end. But even if he doesn't,
I mean,
yeah,
I was thinking, I wish he went out last year, but then he wouldn't have gotten the. Didn't he get?
he was looking
Didn't he
for
get a milestone
3,000
this year?
Ks,
3,000.
three
That's right.
thousand
So yeah, that
strikeouts.
makes. So now they got to
He
win
was
this
looking
year
for that.
again.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's still phenomenal. 2-time World Series champion. You can't beat that. Next topic, we have the ABS system or the ABS challenge system. So we're not going to a full ABS strike zone. Uh, in case anyone doesn't know, ABS, automatic balls and strikes. They tested it out in the minor leagues where, it's that rectangular box you see on your screen when you're watching at home. And, it would just be based off that. And umpires would have like an earpiece telling them if it was a ball or a strike, and they would call it. And, we'd get razor thin with pitches just clipping that box and stuff like that. But the ABS challenge system kind of in the middle. You get 2 challenges. So if you disagree with the call, you can tap your head or, your helmet, hat, whatever. And they'll take a look at it on that box to see if it, was the correct call by the umpire. You could do that twice per game in case I didn't mention that. So the pitcher, the catcher, or the hitter can initiate a challenge. And, you got to use them wisely. It's kind of an extra element of strategy. You can use them in big spots. And I think it's good that you can kind of just get the call right. Makes sense. So, yeah. We saw it happen in the All-Star game. I think it looked pretty good. This is kind of the happy medium where you can get correct calls in big moments, but you still have, the human, part of, calling balls and strikes. So what were your thoughts when you saw this headline?
You said we saw it in the All Star game. You didn't really notice it. That was the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's going to be better for the game. There's not going to be missed calls. People can't get upset about it because it's not going to happen. But can I say I kind of like that? I think I kind of liked Kyle Schwarber getting upset about a strike call that was probably a ball, but that was fun. Him yelling and then like it's those are fun moments. Watching Angel Hernandez. I mean, I guess it's not fun if it's your team he's messing up with, but
Yeah.
it's a little fun. And it is kind of part of the game. It's just the umpires have always done it. It's just kind of the thing, and then getting rid of it. I think I'm against it. Um,
Hmm.
I think just keep it going. Keep what we have. Even though they're gonna miss calls, it's gonna happen. That's just part of the game.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think my rebuttal to that would be there are only 2 chances you have to challenge a call, and if you get it wrong, you lose the challenge. So if a team mismanages those challenges that they have, it can get ugly. And, then you can kind of see players and managers getting all angry, which I do agree with you is fun. I don't think that's going to completely go away. But also, there's no more Angel Hernandez. Like, that guy's retired. So,
Well,
I
there'll
mean,
be
if,
a new one. There will be.
yeah, there's always a new Angel Hernandez out there. Um, there were some bad umpires in this game. So, yeah, I get that. I get that it's fun, but I think for me, just in a big spot, you can just wait for when, it's late in the game, you have important runners in scoring position, you're down by 1 or 2, and if it's, a bad strike call or, you thought it was ball 4 and it was called strike 3, you could get those calls right. I think that's just more valuable and meaningful to the game rather than, just seeing people lose their minds, which is fun. So,
It's definitely there's pros and cons of each side. Uh, but it'll be interesting. Maybe they don't go with the. Maybe they'll take it away. We'll see what happens.
yeah. But like I said, it's a limited amount of challenges. I still think we're going to see guys get angry, which is always fun. Next up, we got Cal Raleigh. He hit 60 home runs. It was the game the Mariners clinched the division, which was pretty awesome. That was a great scene and everything. Uh, the fact that he hit that milestone, and the Mariners won their first division title since 2001, I believe, and it was at home in front of the Pacific Northwest fans. Pretty crazy, and this has been talked about as one of the greatest catcher seasons of all time. He's challenging, for the MVP, and this is just an all-time season that we're never going to forget from Cal Raleigh. What's it been like for you watching what's going on there?
It's been incredible, and it's the big question: is it enough? Is it enough to dethrone the reigning MVP, Aaron Judge? The greatest catcher season of all time. I think it's you can't argue with anything. It's the best. 60 home runs with no steroids is insane. As a catcher, playing catcher every day, it's the hardest position in baseball, and he's doing it. And do you think it's enough? Like I said, it's a great thing, but do you think it's enough?
I think it's tough. Honestly, do think it's enough. I think obviously this conversation is between Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh. Those two are clearly the favorites for MVP. And, while Cal Raleigh doesn't have some of the counting numbers that Judge does, Judge was out for a little bit, and he still has better numbers, which is kind of crazy. I think there are kind of layers to this conversation, right? The Mariners winning the division, the Yankees didn't, with Toronto's win today over the Tampa Bay Rays. So that's not helping Judge's case. Judge was hurt for a little bit, as opposed to Cal Raleigh, who was healthy all season long. I think there could be some fatigue with Aaron Judge, right? He's already won the MVP. He's won 2 MVPs, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. 2-time MVP. That was in... Well, I just want to make sure I have this straight. He won
He won it last year, and he won 2023.
2022.
22.
Because he
that
hit
was
62 home runs that year.
Okay. And he probably
was
should have
the
won
year
in
he
17.
Did he finish where?
He finished second
Oh,
in
wow.
17.
He finished second in the MVP. Wow. I think I remembered it. Did he win the Home Run Derby that year?
I don't. Won it 1 year. Might have been that year.
I think it was in Miami, which was 2017. Anyway, I mean, Aaron Judge kind of is having the better season, but I think there's a better narrative around Cal Raleigh right now. The fact that he's having an insane catcher season, as opposed to Judge just kind of being Aaron Judge, which is still a phenomenal baseball player. It's tough. I think we could kind of see a Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen type of scene here, just a cross-sports reference where Lamar had the better season on paper, but Josh Allen putting up comparable numbers on a lesser team overall that could just earn him some favor and likability. And right, Lamar has already won 2 MVPs. Same thing with Aaron Judge. I think that it's just going to be Cal. Like, the writers might go that direction. So, yeah. But it's tough. I kind of think that Judge deserves it based on the stats alone. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. He had a really good season. They both did. Probably Judge's stats are probably better.
Mm-hmm.
But you just talk value. I mean, you talk value.
Yeah.
Judge, he's playing outfield, but he's not like a great defender. I mean, he's playing DH. Sometimes,
I think
so
it was
it's not
because of
like
injury. He got hurt at one point.
I mean, yeah. So he's playing DH. I mean, you don't play the field. Conrad he's going out there and he's playing catcher. You're involved in every single play as a catcher.
But think about
There's
Ohtani last year. Ohtani was just DHing, but he also went 50-50, so moot point.
Yeah, well, Otani's a different animal.
You're right. No one's Otani.
You can't really compare it to Ohtani.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
So and then so I think I'm gonna say Cal.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool. I mean, Mariners rounding out the season very well. I'm kind of happy for them. They're seeing some success, and I think the Cal. If you take Cal away from the Mariners, it'd be tough for them to make any impact, as opposed to the Yankees, who take away Aaron Judge. Obviously, that's huge, and we've seen what that looks like. But it's still a pretty good team overall. So, yeah, I think Cal is just going to edge it out. And Cal's going to have the better story to tell for these writers.
Okay.
But do you think this could be the best catcher season of all time? That was our initial thing.
Who else is in contention? I mean, Johnny Bench.
I mean, I got some of the seasons here. You have a Mike Piazza,
Oh, I
148
forgot that
games
Mike Piazza.
in '96. It was with the Dodgers. He had 36
Okay.
home runs, and he hit 336,
Mm.
985 OPS.
How many games did he play?
100, not all of them. He played 148.
That's
That's
close.
10 less.
That's close to all of them.
Yeah. You look at shout out Chris Hoyles, my guy Chris Hoyles, 126 games in 1993. He had 29 home runs at 1,001 OPS, hitting 310. He had a 416 OBP that year. You have this.
Yeah, I mean, Riley,
season in
he doesn't have the
95.
average.
Yeah, Cal's average is low.
Well, it's a career high for him.
Yeah, but he's not known for hitting for average.
He's got pop. He's just got pop.
Oh, wow. This season in 1997, I was just looking at the wrong year. Mike Piazza literally hit 40 home runs. He drove in 124, hit 1,070 OPS, and he hit 362.
Okay, no, that might be better.
And that's in
What's his WAR?
152 games. 8.7 WAR on that season.
Ooh, Cal only got 7.3.
I know. That's, yeah. You have
probably
Joe
it.
Mauer. Shout out Joe Mauer. 2009. He hit 365. Got on base at a 444% clip. 587 slugging. 1031 OPS. 7.8 WAR in 138 games. Only 28 homers, but
I'd give it to that Mike Piazza season.
yeah. You have Buster Posey, same WAR, 7.3. It was his MVP season, I believe. Yeah, 2012. I think this was the last time a catcher won MVP. He had 24 home runs, drove in 103, and he hit 330. He slashed 336, 408, 549 for a 957 OPS in 148 games. So, a lot of great catcher seasons.
Yeah, they're there.
But I think Cal Raleigh has certainly entered the conversation.
He's up there for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And then before we get into the playoff talk, just look back on the 2025 season. Started in March and in late September. What would you say was your favorite memory from this year?
Oof. I might be a little biased here, but
That's
I'm
okay.
gonna say
You can
that-
have bias in these picks.
Cedon Rafaela walk-off home run against the Rays. It was during that 10-game win streak. It was win number 8.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible. In the green jerseys, over the monster, crowd's going wild. That's probably my favorite.
That was
You
and he
felt
did, like,
the Red Sox
cold
fan.
thing.
Yeah, you felt as a Red Sox fan that they might win the World Series right there. You didn't feel like anything could stop
Yeah.
him.
That was pretty cool. I remember that. Those jerseys are sick. I really like them because we've seen a game on the Green Monster together. That was a pretty cool game. Even though I think they lost, right? That game.
They
We won
did.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a cool memory. We saw a game on the Green Monster.
And the announcer killed it too. It was all around.
Yeah.
Incredible moment.
That I remember that. I remember that happening. You also had a lot going on. You had the Devers trade. That was insane. The 24-hour window of that.
This has been a roller coaster season for me.
You had
A lot of
that.
highs and
You
lows.
had Joe Ryan being on the Red Sox for 2 minutes. But you made the playoffs, so
That is, yeah. So I guess it was a good season. But
you
it
have
was like,
Garrett Crochet on your team. That's pretty special.
that was the best pickup we got.
Yeah, that was
We got
that
Trevor
guy's
Story
a monster.
career resurgence. I mean,
That's right. Yeah,
saved his contract.
he did. Oh, Roman Empire. You had the Roman Empire this year.
The rise of the Roman Empire and the fall.
I wouldn't say it's a fall, but he's hurt. So
He got, yeah. That was a low. It was a high, then it was a low.
yeah,
The-
is he supposed to make it back for playoffs?
I don't think so. I hate to say it, but I don't think he's gonna make it.
Damn.
They're not gonna
Yeah,
throw
that's-
him in either. Just like, because we have to make like the ALCS, and it's tough to throw a guy in there during the ALCS after. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's sad.
No.
But yeah, for
and
me, man, it was not a good year. Not where we were supposed to be, but there were some silver linings. I remember the 21-31 game, probably my favorite. That was insane. I don't remember if I watched that or not. I might have fallen asleep, but it was Cal Ripken. It was the 30th anniversary of him breaking the streak. Luke Gehrig's famous consecutive game streak. And there were no hit for 8 2/3 innings by Yoshinobu Yamamoto against the Dodgers, and then Jackson Holliday hits a home run, and then they go on to win the game, which is insane. I didn't like Adley getting hurt. As an Adley believer, I am sad about that. Kyle Bradish, seeing him come back was awesome. Trevor Rogers, that development, crazy. After that trade, has had some bad narratives. It's now looking way better, and he's going to be back next year, which I'm super excited for. I remember being excited for the Basayo contract extension, waking up to that news. Finally, we paid someone. That was pretty special. I know that I was at the Adam Jones Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the team. That was amazing for me to be at. I'm old, but it's okay. That's my favorite player of all time, world center fielder. Other than that, I mean, wasn't too much to be excited about. We're missing the playoffs, which is not what we were supposed to do, but it's okay. We learn. It was definitely a hard look.
Anything like around the league?
Around the league?
Like a different moment that you really liked? Because you're right, it was not great.
Yeah. I would say I like the Brewer story.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty cool. I don't know, I've always been a Brewers enjoyer. Went to Milwaukee, had a great time going to AmFam. Shout out Milwaukee. Just the fact that they kind of shoestringed a roster together, right? It's kind of the philosophy of bringing together or getting the most out of your players. It's really what the Brewers have done, and they've been the best team in baseball for that. I think it's a really good story for them. They were kind of written off going into the year. you were looking at the Reds bringing in Terry Francona, trying to make some noise. You had the Cubs go get Kyle Tucker. But the Brewers are going to be at the top until they're not. So I think that was pretty cool. What about you?
Around the league, um, oof,
Some good memories.
well, the Brewers is definitely interesting.
I mean, the
Um,
Kershaw thing for the Dodgers,
that was fun.
pretty special. Yeah.
It's kind of boring, but just talking about the Cal Raleigh, that was definitely.
Oh yeah, that's
I was always rooting for Cal Raleigh. I saw him play
yeah,
this
big,
year.
big dumper.
Big dumper. I saw
You
him
saw him
play. I,
play. How was that?
I don't think he did much. There was like the one game where like he didn't hit a home run. But they do love him out there. I can say that. Seattle loves Big Dumper.
How could they not? He's
So
got a whole region of the country behind him, which is pretty cool.
Pacific Northwest, they got nothing up there.
Yeah. Um,
So
this
that
just
was
happened,
fun.
but on the announcer front, in case you don't know, Bob Carpenter, he's been a long time, play-by-play for the Washington Nationals. He announced his retirement at the beginning of the year. And now he's, officially done. That's pretty sad. That's always a broadcaster I've loved, even though he's not for the Orioles. And, he's been an icon. He's always been there for the Nationals. And now he's moving on to the next chapter, which is sad. So that's something stings a little, but I'm happy for him. He's had a great career. Called the World Series. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Those are pretty
accomplishment.
much. Yeah, no doubt. That's pretty much all I got for good memories of 2025.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Now we move on to playoff talk. Unless you got one more thing.
that's where the best memories come. The playoffs.
That's great segue. Love that. So yeah, now we move on to playoff talk. Before we get into some predictions, we'll go rapid fire on those. We got to talk about kind of the scuffle at the end of the year, for some of these teams. One of them being, I'll start with Detroit. I posted a stat for them. Yeah. This is crazy. This is more of a Guardian stat, but I think it kind of encapsulates what the Tigers are doing. So on September 1st, the Guardians trailed the Tigers by 10.5 games for the division. And then on September 4th, Cleveland was 69-70. And then on September 10th, Cleveland had a 4.7% chance to make the playoffs. And then on September 24th, Cleveland took sole possession of first place in the AL Central. I believe that division lead was 15 games at one point. I don't remember
Oh my
when
gosh.
exactly. But the Detroit Tigers, this is a catastrophe. They still made the playoffs. They didn't miss the playoffs, which is important. But how do you not win the division? I think I have an answer for that, but the fall from grace, they were like the best team in the American League in the first half. They send these all-stars, Javi Baez, Riley Green, I think Zach McKinstry made it, Tarek Skubal, probably a few more than I'm missing, and then the bottom falls out, which is pretty insane to watch.
It's been a collapse. I mean, to have that big of a lead, to have this roster, like you said, the All Stars, and you blow it. I mean, I guess the one thing is now they got to play in the first round, and you got to play them on their home field, and
Yep.
you got to prove, okay, we're still better than this team. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if they lose this would be like the ultimate rat in the hair situation. It's just coming up fast, and then the Cleveland Guardians they get you. I mean, everyone wrote off the Guardians. They thought it was over. These years of owning the AL Central, but we were all wrong. It's insane what happened last month of the season.
No doubt. Um, and the Tigers' momentum is completely gone. Right? I mean, you got Tarek Skubal going. They didn't pitch him today, which you noted before we started, I think. So, yeah, it's bad in Detroit. And I found the stat. I posted this stat. The Tigers had a 15.5 game lead on the Guardians on July 8th. And, 9.5 game less than 2 weeks ago. This was posted 4 days ago. So that's today's the 28th. So 24th. This is posted midweek. And the Guardians then got the tiebreaker. And, yeah. So, I mean, Detroit, I have no words. Just so bad. And, Tarek Skubal, but there's not much else behind it right now. And I think part of the issue was what they did at the trade deadline. They didn't really go all in, right? I mean, they got Chris Paddock. They got Charlie Morton, who was cut recently, and then he went back to the Braves, rounding out his season there. He might be retiring at the end of this year. They got Kyle Finnegan. That was a good move. But, you can't be saying that Chris Paddock and Charlie Morton are what's going to propel your team. And, they had the farm system to go be aggressive. They weren't, and they have paid the price going into the postseason.
Absolutely. I'm excited for this first round of the playoffs. It's going to be electric.
Yes.
Cleveland can definitely bring it.
Another team, well, I guess, the Tigers still made the playoffs, but a team that missed is the Houston Astros. They are not going to October. That is a crazy sentence to say. They end the year 87-75. That's actually the same record as the Tigers, but I would assume they didn't have the tiebreaker. They were 4-6 in their last 10. They were playing the Angels this weekend. I don't think they were controlling their own destiny, and they're officially out. I can't believe that either, that the Houston Astros are not going to be making a run. I think they've been in the ALCS every year since 2017. They've been in the playoffs every year since 2016. Yeah, crazy times.
Is it over? Are we sure? 'Cause like you said, it was since 2016. This has been a run, but it's not like they were bad.
Yeah.
They were right there. So I don't know if it's over for the Astros. Maybe retool in the offseason. They're going to sign back Kyle Tucker. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. But it's weird that the Astros aren't going to be there. For sure. It's been the dominant team of this, the past 8 years. Like you said, making this ALCS felt like every year was a repeat. You could never count them out. It's definitely raised a lot of questions of this dynasty.
Yeah. I can see a world where it's not over. Right. There's still a really good team here, but I'm gonna make a hot take and say that the dynasty is over. This is it.
It's done.
They didn't make the playoffs. I'm gonna just put the nail in the coffin. I'm gonna say it's over. And don't get me wrong, I would not be surprised if they come back next year and they're guns blazing. Right? That would not be shocking at all. But this just feels like the end. Framber Valdez is going to be a free agent, right? I mean, Jeremy Pena, he's kind of been there. Correa, he got traded back over to help this playoff push, and it just didn't work. And, it just doesn't feel like this team is the same, right? They traded away Tucker. Bregman's gone. Altuve is getting older, right? Correa is not the same player that he once was, even though he's still really good. Yeah.
You got Hunter Brown.
Hunter Brown is there, but if they don't re-sign Framber, then it's Hunter Brown and then who? And that's a tough conversation.
Yeah. I don't know. I got to see more.
I need to see more. I think that's it. It's tough, and I'm not buying. I don't think I'm
I'm
buying
gonna
into the
go.
Astros next year.
I'm going hot take. I'm saying they make the playoffs next year.
So
They don't want to be
you're on the
done.
other side of the coin.
They don't want to be done.
I mean, they were literally right there, and they didn't make it. So I
They
get that.
this front office, they don't want to be. They're gonna keep pushing. I'm not saying they're gonna be, World Series. I'm just saying they're gonna make it. They're gonna hold on for another year.
I can see that. Um, so, and then we got to talk about the other side of the standings. The New York Mets, they missed the playoffs. They spent $765 million on Juan Soto. And they have this expensive roster. They brought back Pete Alonso. They got Lindor on this large contract. Jeff McNeil's on a large contract. Brendan Nimmo is on a large contract. They paid Sean Manaea a little short-term deal. And, I might be missing a few names. But they got all these guys who were making a bag. And they missed the playoffs. The collapse was real. This is worse than the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers still made the playoffs. The Mets are out. And that is nearly inexcusable after an offseason when you paid a guy the largest contract in sports history. So they just completely fell apart. Kind of Mets-like. Right? Mets fashion, little Mets. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
brutal.
Yeah, for a team that made the NLCS last year, you know, play the
Right.
Dodgers better than anybody. Um, and then they sign Juan Soto, and they bring back Pete Alonso. That team doesn't make the playoffs. It just
Yeah.
confuses me. Usually, teams that spend money they win. That's usually what happens. And so you get away with 83 games, you win 83. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. Um, you know, you just gotta. I don't know where you go from this. If you're looking at it like we spend all the money we can spend, it's. But I kind of love it. I do love it. I like the Cincinnati Reds sneaking in there, just because who can hate the Reds? Because the Reds, they just took it from the Mets, the big time Mets. Um,
Yeah.
how about the Central sending three playoff teams? That's who thought that was gonna happen.
That is that's remarkable. Um, this just further proves the point. Money doesn't buy you a playoff ticket. That's just how it is. You gotta play the games. That's just the reality these days. And the Mets fall out insane. They just didn't have it. And the Reds stormed and took the tiebreaker, and you gotta respect it. You gotta love it for Cincy. I mean, Cincinnati, stand up, Terry Francona. How about it?
Terry Francona, he always does good, man. You can never count out Terry.
Tito, Tito, that guy could be in a grave, and I'm never gonna count him out.
Exactly.
That's, yeah, he's a legend. Now we get to the playoff picture. We'll do a little, rapid fire. Try and be concise. So we got the official playoff bracket. Once the season ended today. So, you want to start with the American League or go National League first?
We start with the American League because it's the best league.
It is. That's a fact. We'll go Tigers versus Cleveland. Tigers being the 6th seed and Guardians being the 3 seed. I believe the Guardians are hosting this. It's a best of 3. What's your prediction here? Who do you think wins?
I think, like we said earlier, they got Terry Screwball going game one, arguably the best pitcher in the game, certainly in the American League. I think that's a huge. If you can win game one, that's huge because you only need two. You only need two. So if you get game one and you got Terry Screwball in game one, I'm going Tigers.
Okay. Do you think it's a sweep or 3 games?
I think they go 3.
Okay. You know, I I'm actually gonna go against you already. I'm gonna go with the Guardians.
Oh,
I
oh,
I think guard ball has just got some mojo right now. They just beat up on the Tigers, right? And you're getting some good pitching performances. You got Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams. I think that's a better combo as opposed to Scooble just himself. Obviously, that's no disrespect to Scooble, right? Scooble's gonna win the Cy Young, even though I kind of wish Crochet would win it. Um, but Scooble, he's gonna be back-to-back Cy Young Award winner. But like, he doesn't have a partner in crime. He doesn't have a Robin, as some analogies I've heard say. Right? I think the Guardians are more well rounded in what they're doing right now, and they just beat up on the Tigers. So it's really a pressure on the Tigers of how they're going to respond. I think Cleveland keeps the foot on the gas. They got the upper hand, and I think they're going to win in 3 games.
wow. All right, already. Um,
Yeah.
so then we go to Red Sox Yankees.
Yes. Yep. We'll do the wild cards.
A killer series. The all-time classic. Red Sox the 5 seed, Yanks the 4 seed. It's in the Bronx. Um, you
Sunday
know,
Night
I,
Baseball loves this matchup.
dude. You just September. That's Saturday, right? September 30th. Is that a Saturday? Like I'm not doing anything
Um,
else. Like forget.
September 30th. Today's the 28th. That's a Tuesday.
That's Tuesday. It starts.
Yeah.
Bro, bro,
First. Yeah.
bro.
First game of
Oh
the playoffs.
man. I thought I swear I thought it said saw like an ad that said Saturday, so that was just in my mind. But I'm wrong. I'm wrong. So yeah, Tuesday. That's what
Yep.
I got my calendar cleared for Tuesday night. That's what I'm doing.
Appointment television.
And we got Crochet going to get one. I make best pitcher in the series. I can't, I gotta pick the Red Sox in two.
In two,
I'm going in two. In two.
even even without Roman.
Don't care. I know he's the Yankee killer. Red Sox in two.
Wow, this is
We own
tough.
this rivalry. We own this rivalry.
This is really tough. This is a really tough choice. Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna side with you. I'm gonna go with the Red Sox. I think I'm gonna say it gets done in 3. So, um, I don't think he's gonna be perfect from Boston, but I think there's enough there behind Crochet, right? I think it's kind of just an elevated version of what the Tigers have. Um, Crochet has backup, unlike Scooble. So, yeah, I think the Red Sox, they can take care of business. I think they're probably going to want it more, even though the Yankees, they want to avenge, the World Series. I think the Red Sox could have more fight in them. I think the Yankees can get a little lackadaisical, per se. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Red Sox in 3 as well. Where else is the postseason bracket? Do you want to go to NL wildcard matchups?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, Reds Dodgers. We'll go that one first. That's also the 6-3. Dodgers being the 3 seed, Reds being the 6 seed. By the way, Red Sox 5 seed, Yankees 4 seed. In case anyone missed that. Blue Jays did win the division today, so it's a good thing Yankees
um,
lost it.
so Reds Dodgers in two. That feels, Reds was a great story. They snuck in the playoffs, got it from the Mets. They just don't have Otani. Um, I know that there are some holes in this. It's not the same Dodger team from last year. I'm going to take them over the Reds. 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Do you have any objection?
I don't think I do, unfortunately. I think the Reds just could kind of get overwhelmed. It kind of feels like an Orioles type of scenario where, right, they get into the playoff. Obviously, the Orioles, 2023, they got in with some authority, right? They won 100 games, won the division, but the lights could just get too bright, and especially in Dodger Stadium, you're going up against superstars. I'm going to take the Dodgers in 2 as well.
Okay, and then going to Padres Cubs. Who you
Yep.
got? Padres the 5 seed, Cubs are the 4 seed. It's in Chicago.
Um, Padres Cubs. It's tough. I think. I think I'm gonna go with the lower seed. I'm gonna go with the Padres. I think the Padres have some more experience with this. Right, Cubs are kind of returning to prominence, as opposed to the Padres. They're trying to fight and get a World Series. I think the Padres had a really good deadline. That bullpen is gross. I think there are certain aspects of the Padres as a team that can knock out the Cubs. Right, starters they don't need a ton from. The lineup is potent. I think the San Diego gets it done. I don't think they're phased. San Diego 5 seed, Chicago 4 seed. By the way,
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm taking the Padres. Like you said, that bullpen is the best of baseball, maybe. And bullpen matters. It's because you get a start of a bad inning, you got to go to the bullpen. And when you got guys everywhere that can throw good innings, that's gonna matter. So I'm picking the Padres over the Cubs. I'm gonna say probably in. I'm gonna go in 3. Cubs are still a good team, but
okay.
I think the Padres are just built better.
Yeah, I'll say 3 as well. I'll be fair. I think the Cubs can be really good. So next up, we got the divisional matchups. We got, or for you, it's Detroit, Seattle, and then for me, it's Cleveland, Seattle.
Right.
Seattle 2 seed.
So, um, I think this is probably when Detroit loses. They're not gonna have Dick Terry Screwball to start the series because he just got to pitch in the Cleveland series. Um, so I'm gonna Mariners. They're gonna be fresh. They're gonna be ready, and I'm gonna pick them to go to the next go to the LCS. What's it in? It's a best of 5.
5. Yep.
So
5.
I'm gonna say Mariners get out there in 4.
Okay.
Screwball will be back in one of those games. I think they'll get one, but the Mariners is just gonna overwhelm them. Cal Raleigh, you know how it goes. So I had them going to the LCS.
So I had Mariners Guardians. Um, I think this is where the road ends for Cleveland. I think Seattle's just too good of a team right now. They're just firing on all cylinders, right? We talked about Cal Raleigh, MVP, arguably, right? Julio has showed up. You got Naylor and Eugenio Suarez. You got some other nice contributors. The pitching is unreal. We've been begging to see that rotation in the playoffs. Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, if you want to go to him. I think it's pretty exciting what Seattle can do. I think they're going to be juiced up, and I'm going to go with them. I'll go with them in 4 as well.
All right.
Next matchup we got is Red Sox versus Blue Jays. We both had that. I'm going to go. Oh, this is tough. Puts. I'll go Boston here. I think, Boston has some.
You don't have to say
we
that,
just talked
man.
about
You can
Seattle.
you don't have to say that just because I'm here, man. I'm fine with you. You can with the Blue Jays.
Are you afraid of the jinx?
No, just just don't feel like you can have to root for the Red Sox every single time when I'm here. Just you can pick the Blue Jays. Maybe
No,
I'm afraid of the Jinx, maybe.
I don't know. I just think the Red Sox should be rolling. I don't think the offense is as good for the Red Sox, but I think the pitching could be a little bit hotter going into the series. And right, I like what the Red Sox can do pitching wise. I think part of me also wants to see a Blue Jays downfall, so that would be pretty funny. On a personal level, I'll go Red Sox. I'll put the Red Sox through to the ALCS.
I'm gonna have to pick the Red Sox here. I think the Blue Jays are kind of chokers a little bit. Is that fair to say?
That's
I
fair.
feel like they get this every year.
I remember
And
that wild card series 2022. They choked.
I think also a big part of this is the manager experience.
Mm.
Alex Cora,
Amen.
he's been here before. Won in
World Series
2018.
champ.
He was on that, yeah, and then that 2021 squad made the LCS. He knows playoff baseball. John Schneider, he does not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to play a big role. Um, and I'm going to pick the Red Sox, man, LCS over the Blue Jays.
I,
Get out there in
yeah.
4.
I also remembered I picked the Red Sox to make the World Series in 2025. So
Didn't you have them
it's
winning?
pretty good for my narrative. I did not. I had the Diamondbacks winning, but we don't talk about that.
Ooh.
Anyway, I thought I was cool, and I wound up being not cool for that pick. Anyway, National League Division Series, we got Phillies versus the Dodgers. Phillies being the 2 seed, Dodgers being the 3 seed.
Electric. That's going to be insane.
That's a point in television. That is get the popcorn ready type of series.
You got the 2 MVP frontrunners. I mean, Otani's probably going to win it, but it's Schwarber versus Otani. Yeah, it's Phillies need it bad. They need this.
No Wheeler though.
I don't. That pitch they got. Talk about depth in that starting pitching. They got depth. They got some dudes in there. I feel like Phillies got this one. Phillies get out of there in 5. Tough series.
Okay.
Citizen Banks Parks. You know that place comes alive.
Yeah, it does. This is a great series. I just think the Phillies without Zach Wheeler, I don't think they can do much. So I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers again, just they're riding the momentum. They've already been playing. The Phillies been sitting a little bit. The Dodgers are inevitable. You talk about teams being inevitable, like the Astros. The Dodgers are right there. So I am gonna pick the Dodgers to move on to the NLCS as the 3 seed.
I also think important to note out is how is Otani going to play in these playoffs? Because he wasn't great last year.
He's pitching now.
Is he going to be the actual MVP we know he is, or is he going to be last year Otani and just rely on Freddie Freeman?
I don't know.
And
we'll have to see.
But I think Phillies get out there. And now we both have the Padres going against the Brewers.
Yep.
The 1-seeded Brewers. Who do you got? Your Brew Crew or right with the Padres?
This puts me in a rock and a hard place because I really want the Brewers to win, but Padres have the experience. I'm gonna go with the Brewers. I know they don't have a great reputation when it comes to performing in October, which maybe could hurt them, especially with a grizzled team like San Diego. I just think the Brewers have the deepest roster here on this. In the playoff field, Brewers best team in baseball, number 1 seed. I think they could move on to the NLCS and take on the Dodgers. I love what they're doing. Right, they got the pitching down, they got the bullpen down, the offense is looking good. They're a complete team, and I think it's hard to poke a hole in what they can do.
Yeah, I know you love your Brewers, and they're the best team in baseball. But there's just something about I'm going Padres. Like you said, the experience.
That's fair. Yeah.
I just don't really trust the Brewers. I don't know. It's a weird thing I have. I don't trust them. I don't think they have enough star power to get things done. That bullpen's going to come to play. Padres got a really good bullpen. I'm picking the Padres. Padres in 4.
Oh, I forgot to give game prediction. I'll go Brewers in 5. I think it could be close, but I think the Brewers will edge it out. But I understand. This is one where I completely get both sides of the argument. So, yeah. ALCS
Yeah.
is Mariners versus Red Sox for both of us. Who do you
Yep. I think this is where the lineup for the Red Sox catches up for them. Just lacking some firepower. They don't have Cal Raleigh. They don't even have really a J-Rod. So I'm going or Edwin Suarez. It's just the Mariners had them. Offense is better. The pitching's probably better, even though Garrett Crochet's the best pitcher in the series. Um, I'm going Mariners advance to the World Series for the first time.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to go Mariners.
Oh, my game prediction. I'm going Mariners in 5.
Wow. Yeah, I am going to agree. I'm going to have to go with Seattle. I think Seattle just could do a lot of things right. And I agree with you. I think the depth of Boston's squad could ultimately catch up to them at this point in October. So I think Seattle could just triumph. Made a lot of good points. There's no rallies, there's no J-Rod on Boston's side. So I think Seattle can make it to the World Series. That's pretty exciting.
All right. Now the NLCS. Phillies Padres. This is a repeat. I had Phillies Padres. You had Phillies Brewers.
I
we'll go to you
Brewers.
first. Oh, you have the Dodgers Brewers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My mistake.
That's okay.
So who do you got in your?
Oh man. Oh, it's tough. I know the Dodgers were just here last year, but something about these Milwaukee Brewers got me drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm gonna go Milwaukee. That's gonna be my bold prediction of the episode. I think Milwaukee's gonna get there, and I think we're gonna have a great, heartfelt World Series. Seattle, Milwaukee. I don't know, man. It's just the Dodgers. I know last year they stormed through the playoffs. They had a great run, but they've had trouble in the past just collapsing. And I know I said they were inevitable. They were inevitable last year, but at the same time, they've certainly had their moments. They've certainly had their issues, and I think the Brewers this year, current iteration of the Brewers, could be the team to knock them a peg down, and I think that could go far enough to be where the Brewers win out the series. And I'll say Brewers in 7. I think the Brewers could just grind their way through it. I think they're built for that type of, play style. So.
Jeez. The TV networks are going to hate you for even saying a Seattle versus Milwaukee World Series.
I know, yeah, that's...
But, so I got different NLCS. I got San Diego Padres versus Philadelphia Phillies.
Yep. We saw this 2020.
Like I was saying, this is a repeat.
Yep.
I think the Phillies just got it again. This is a different year for the Phillies.
You think Phillies again? And
Phillies
this is all without Zach Wheeler.
It's gonna feel crazy if they're gonna do this, but this squad's good, man.
You're just
so I'm picking.
You just don't think the fact that they don't have Zach Wheeler affects them.
They're still a good team. I know Zach Wheeler is one of the best pitchers in the game, but
he's not just one of the best pitchers in the game. He's one of the best postseason performers in the game.
I know.
That's hard to lose.
It might be ridiculous, but I'm picking the Phillies.
That's fair.
I mean, they're a story. The last few years, they've been playoff risers. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, they do it. That's what they do.
Trey Turner.
I mean, I mean, Padres are also kind of like that, but I like the Phillies roster. I'm going Phillies. Phillies Mariners World Series. Phillies get out of there, and
That's a pretty good
Phillies
World
beat the
Series.
Padres in six.
Yeah.
Phillies beat the Padres in six.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So we have different World Series. You both have the Mariners making the World Series. I have Mariners Brewers, which, like you said, the narratives are not good. And you have Phillies Mariners. What is your pick?
Mm, man, this is tough. This is tough.
Yeah.
I want to say it's the year for the
Mm-hmm.
Phillies, but I think this Mariners roster is just it's better, well-rounded. Um, I'm going Mariners. I'm going Mariners. Oh, yeah, no, I'm sticking with it. Mariners in six.
Nice.
I think
MVP of the
they got the
World Series MVP early.
I want to say
What do you think of
Cal
the
Raleigh,
World
but I
Series
don't. I
MVP?
feel like it happens every year, where like the MVP he doesn't perform well in the playoffs or the World Series. So I'm gonna go with Elvino Suarez. No. J.P. Crawford. That's
Wow. J.P. Crawford.
yeah. He's gonna just light it up for no
Got
reason.
some
For no reason.
vengeance. He's feeling salty against his former organization.
That's his former organization, really?
Yeah, he's a top prospect with the Phillies.
Oh wow. All right, yeah. That's the narrative right there. I
That
think
is that
it's
is your
just
narrative.
there's not a lot of holes in this. They got the offense, they got the MVP, they got the starting rotation. It's all there for the Mariners. This is the year for the Mariners. What
Yeah.
about you?
Man, I really want to say the Brewers, but I can't drag them any further. I think this Mariners team is just it's too good. Um, I think Cal Raleigh's nah. I think Cal Raleigh's ultimately going to be the MVP of the series. Mariners in 7, by the way. But
Oh,
if I'm not picking Cal, he might be gassed ultimately. I think a guy that could kind of shine in some spotlight, Josh Naylor. I think he'd have a good series.
yeah. Okay. He's been there. He's been in
He
playoff roles
he
before.
he could get fired up, and I like that. He's been good. He's been good for Seattle. So that's it for this episode. We
All
got a
right.
loaded list of topics, plenty of great stuff that we talked about. Some collapses, some rises. Um, you know, Clayton Kershaw gone, ABS, some important news. Uh, and of course, the 2025 season comes to an end. We thank you for sticking with us throughout the whole regular season. And as we move into the postseason, we always appreciate the support. Brendan, any last parting words?
Um, it's gonna be fun. Tuesday it starts. It's so quick. We get one day off, and then we're back.
It is.
Um,
Yep.
I'm hyped. I'm ready. It's been a long
You got
season.
to
It's
buckle up
time
for
for
your
the
Red Sox,
playoffs.
right?
Oh, I want it. You know what? Just beat the Yankees. I'll be happy. You know,
That
if
would
you
be pretty
lose
good.
the Blue Jays in round 2, that's fine. Just beat the Yankees.
Yeah, that's fair. That'll do it for this episode. Everything you need is in the description. And with that, we'll see you next time.